Hey, I'm Linnell and I live on cruise ships. Today I'm on Sun Princess, the newest Princess cruise ship, and it's a beautiful ship. I love everything about the ship. This is my first time on a Princess cruise. Normally when I'm on a ship for the first time, I do a video showing a ship tour, and as I was editing the video for the ship tour for this ship, I couldn't do it.
Hated it.
There are some wonderful, wonderful things about this ship and about this cruise, my experience overall, but there are some things that more than likely that's going to cause me not to cruise with Princess again. So in this video, I'm going to show you my experience, all the wonderful things that I've seen and done, and the things that are just not for me, which is why I probably will not cruise with Princess again. For starters, let me say that this was a free cruise for me. I had some free casino deals with Carnival and Royal Caribbean, and Princess has a program where you send in your deals from other cruise ships, they will consider giving you a cruise on their ship. And so they gave me a free 7-day cruise. I paid $179 for the 7 days. I also paid a $200 deposit, but I get that deposit back in onboard credit, which I'm using that for gratuities, and I did purchase the Wi-Fi on board, so I'm using that towards that. Day one, getting on board. Getting on board Sun Princess was the easiest onboard process that I've ever seen in my life. And I've been on almost 30 cruises this year, and I've been cruising full-time this year since July, but I've been cruising since 2001, and I've never seen an easier onboard experience. It probably took less than a minute for them to go through my passport and get me my medallion, which is the key to get on the ship, which is the key that operates everything, your cabin, your expenses, and all that. Okay.
All right, and you're all set. Now you're going to board the ship. Just make sure you wear that everywhere you go. It's your room key, your everything. Gets you everywhere.
Okay.
So you can go right along this way. You'll see boarding this way signs. Just follow the signs. It'll take you where you need to be.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good trip.
My first time on Princess. Hi. Hello. Yes. Thank you. Have a nice day. The service is not so good when I first get on. Let's see if it's better once we're in there.
Welcome aboard.
Hello, thank you. Hello. It's my first time. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go.
This side, the elevator.
Okay.
Do you have the drinks package with you?
I do not. I don't
You like
drink.
to buy?
No, I don't drink alcohol, just water.
Welcome on board. Welcome on board. Anybody like to upgrade drinks package?
Is there lunch somewhere?
Yes, here, deck 9.
Thank you.
Welcome on board, everyone. This way, elevator.
The customer service when I first got on, even though it was super easy to get on, the customer service was blah. No one smiled, and what I'm used to on cruise ships, when you get there, hi, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Thanks for coming. Blah 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 blah. None of that. No one was smiling. No one was welcoming me on board. I think from the time that I stepped to the terminal until I actually got to lunch, I think only one person said welcome aboard, and even he wasn't smiling when he said it. So customer service at the beginning was not. That first day, no. There were no instructions. Normally, again, as an experienced cruiser, when you first get on the ship, there's instructions of where to go. You can go have lunch on this deck and this deck. You can go lounge in these areas, etc. You need to go to your muster station in these areas. And here's where you need to go. There was nothing like that, nothing at all. Once I got on the ship and got to the elevator, someone handed me a piece of paper. I was totally confused, asking questions, asking for directions and things like that. And when he gave me the paper, it said something about the Wi-Fi, and it was a slip of paper about the size of my phone, a little bit bigger. But it said something about the Wi-Fi, so I kind of glanced at that and I was thinking, oh, I'll read that later once I get settled, get to know where I'm at. You know, I'm carrying luggage and all this and that. Finally figured out where to go and got to deck 7 and had lunch there. So the dining room on deck 7 is where I ended up having lunch. And once I got there and got settled and actually ordered, then I read the piece of paper that they gave me. On the back of this little piece of paper that they gave me, it said things about, it had notes on there about where to go eat. And it didn't say anything about muster station either, that I recall. I'll edit this if it's if it did say that. I still have the paper. But yeah, for you to just hand someone a piece of paper and it's mostly talking about Wi-Fi and they don't know where they're going, all these, 5,000 people, I think that was unacceptable. Yeah, that was poor customer service for sure. For lunch in the main dining room, every time I talk about food on this ship, you're gonna see me smile because the food that I had was amazing. I had a creamy bacon soup and a Cobb salad with grilled salmon. Oh my God, this salad is really, really good. I definitely recommend it, really good. It was so good. It was so good. That was a really good introduction to the food on this ship. So not disappointed at all. The customer service, again, that I kind of understood, but the customer service in the dining room just wasn't there. But I'm used to the first day on any cruise ship, any cruise line, they're rushing because you got all these new people and people don't really know where to go and blah 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 blah, and they're trying to hurry up and get things done. But yeah, the customer service wasn't there in the dining room either. I'll go ahead and say this now. The customer service in the main dining room, even though I kind of expected it for the first day, it was always blah. The customer service in the dining room was never great, never good. It wasn't even good. Even if I don't say it's amazing or excellent, I can't even say that it was good. It was just kind of like when you go to a Burger King and they don't even say, hi, welcome to Burger King, may I take your order? They just kind of stand there at the cash register and wait for you to order. It was kind of like that. They would walk over to the table with a menu and just kind of look at me. So I don't know what that's about, but that's unacceptable to me.
Oh girl, yes I did, girl.
Excuse me.
Yes I. You see me in the middle of a conversation? Don't interrupt. Rude. I'm gonna have to call you back. Welcome to King Burger, where we could do it your way, but don't get crazy.
The day did get better. My cabin was very impressive. They gave me an ocean view. I didn't get to pick the cabin. Again, it was a free cruise. I didn't get to pick the cabin, but the cabin they gave me was on deck 5. I do have a link to the cabin tour that you can check that out if you desire. The cabin was amazing. It was the best ocean view cabin I've ever been in all my cruises. And I've been in some pretty nice ocean view cabins. This one was pretty nice. It was very large. A lot of room, everything, of course, it's a brand new ship, so all the furniture and everything was brand new. All the hangers were nice and shiny. It wasn't like in little pieces and things like that. So there were no stains or anything like that. So I think just the ship being new overall made the experience overall good. But yeah, I love that cabin. After I dropped my luggage off in the cabin, I went over to a welcome tour that they had. And I noticed this on some other ships that I had been on, that I would go out and, because I'm used to cruising, I kind of know what I want to do. But I would see people touring, and I was always kind of nosy, like, how are they getting a tour? I didn't even know that they were doing a tour. So this time I actually looked for it, and yes, they were doing a welcome presentation tour, and that was super cool. It was very detailed about different things on the ship, different venues, how they structure their activities. So I highly recommend, if you are first time on this ship or any ship, kind of look for that if you're someone who wants the info without having to search for it yourself. Look for the welcome tour. That was really good.
What we're going to do today is orientate you on all things Sun Princess. Now, if you don't know this, Sun Princess is the newest ship in our fleet. It is the largest ship in our fleet as well, and she is a gorgeous ship.
After, so the cruise director, Cole, is the one who gave the presentation. After he was done, the jewelry expert head salesperson, right? I can't think of Vaughn. That's his name. Vaughn gave us a miniature tour of some of the areas on the ship. Of course, it's going to lead back to the jewelry store, right? But he, took us to different venues and where most of the activities were going to happen. At least the activities that I would probably like, and I guess that most people on the ship would like. He took us to those, and that was pretty cool. So I would give them an A+ on that.
Now, folks, I promised you to bring you a bar. That's a good one to come to before or after dinner. Always a good one. You will never find this place fully full. There will always be 3 or 4 tables open, guaranteed. I'm willing to put money on the table. Always a table open, and the service is always quite sparse. I think it's the location. It's not commonly found. So this is a good one to come to.
After that tour was the Sailway party. I give them a B on the Sailway party. I actually had fun, but what I noticed during the Sailway party was there's a lot of old folks at the Sailway party. And I consider myself old folks. I saw mostly everybody was my age and up. I don't think I saw anybody who was in their 30s, 40s, whatever. I'm sure there were some, but mainly everyone was my age and higher. Also, they did the Cupid Shuffle, but they didn't do the wobble. That's a personal thing. I know I have issues with that, but yeah, that's something that I look for. If I'm gonna do 2 dances on a cruise ship, I want to do the Cupid Shuffle and the wobble. And they gave me one, they didn't give me the other, so I'll give them a pass on that. After the Sailway party, I came back, did the cabin tour, didn't even have time to unpack because they have dinner. The main they have more than one dinner time, but the main dining is at 5 p.m., which yay, because I am an early bird, so I like to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner early so I can go to bed early. But again, dinner was amazing. Customer service, not so much. But yeah, the food was amazing. After dinner, I went to the comedy show. I'm in the Princess Arena, just saw comedian Charles Strong. He used to open for Gladys Knight in the Pips. He was super, super funny. Oh my God, I have a headache from laughing so hard. It was hilarious.
How many people remember the old? Oh, yeah. The old. Didn't you hate that? Yeah. You tired. You just got on the ship. The rednecks, they're pulling beer across the carpet. They made it last night just for the occasion. My people, black people, we brought our alcohol, don't get mad at me, in shampoo bottles.
After the comedy show, the Vaughn, who gave the tour earlier, had told us that anyone who came down, I forget what time it was, down to the jewelry store at a certain time. Of course, they were doing a sales presentation, which took probably only about 15 minutes. But then they gave us these free sun necklaces. They're just costume jewelry, it's not real gold or anything like that. But I think they're super cute.
Let's give her a big round of applause. They must be giving something away.
I see my lady with a camera over there on the door. Have you got the raffle ticket?
Yes, I got mine.
Good, good, good. So we want to make sure everybody that's inside the store has one pink raffle ticket in their hand.
Grab it and you're going to hit out that button. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Other side, other side. No. We have a line of people that are coming out this way. Go, guys. Go. Thank you. Please continue moving that way. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you, thank you. You get an extra one because you're my camera crew.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Thanks, guys. You're gonna go.
After that, it was a long day, of course, so I called it a night, but I did do they have a feature that I love, 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 even though they didn't respond to it as quickly as I would have liked them to, but they have a feature on the app where you can chat guest services. So you don't have to go in line and wait. There's always a long line the first day of guest services, right? So that was pretty cool. The reason why I did that because someone in my comments, I can't remember who, thank you whoever that was, I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it again, but someone in the comments had said something about Princess match the, no, I think they asked the question, maybe, does Princess have status match? So I asked in the chat, and I didn't get a reply back right away, it took them a while, but long story short, they say no. Even though I'm platinum with Carnival, they're not going to match that here on Princess. So I didn't get any of the perks as far as my free drinks and free laundry and stuff like that. But another one of the great things about this ship is, and one of the cabin stewards told me it's the only Princess ship that does this. They have laundry rooms on, I'm not sure if it's every floor, but I've been on 2 floors. We'll get to that in a minute, but I've been on 2 floors on this ship. And both of them had laundry rooms really close to my cabin. Not only do they have laundry rooms, but there's no charge. None for the washer, none for the dryer, none for the detergents, the dryer sheets, and they even have bleach. There's a TV in there so you can watch TV. They had sports on both times that I did laundry twice. They had sports on and nobody else was in there. The laundries were nice and clean. There was 2 sets of washers and dryers. Yeah, that was the end of day 1, embarkation day. All right, so now we're at day 2, and spoiler alert, we ain't gonna make it to day 7, y'all. I'm on this ship for 7 days, but we ain't gonna make it to day 7. So day 2, I decided, it was a long day on day 1, so I decided to sleep in and order room service. So I had breakfast in bed. The room service was kind of blah. The fact that they have room service is awesome because not all cruise ships have room service, so I was appreciative of that. And they had a lot of things that were on there that were complimentary, including some hot items. I think I had an English muffin, and yeah, it was an English muffin, and it was I never ordered it again, so it wasn't that great. It made me get up out of bed the rest of the cruise to go get breakfast. After breakfast in bed, I kind of explored the ship, and I never got around to doing a full ship tour, I'll tell you that now. But I explored the ship a little bit, and then I checked the schedule and saw that they had informal Bible study. That was my jam. I had a really good time. There just happened to be a former, I think it was former pastor on board, and he kind of led it because it was guest led. It was, like I said, informal. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And he had some amazing teachings, and we kind of just all went around the circle and kind of, discussed different scriptures and stuff. That was super fun. First time I ever seen anything regarding a Bible on the ship. Yeah, I can't think of any other cruise ships that had anything that had to do with the Bible ever. So just the fact that that was there, they even had, I use an app for my Bible, but they even had hard copies of Bibles out on the tables for people to use. I also met a new friend, and she has a YouTube channel that you all might also be interested in, because we probably have similar, I feel like my chair's in the wrong spot. We probably have similar viewers. We probably have similar viewers. Her channel is DIY with Nadia, and it's about crafts. So if you're so inclined, go over to her channel and check it out. I'll put a link in the description. But hey, Nadia, if you're watching, she's not a full-time cruiser, so I don't think she's gonna be watching this channel, but some of you will probably like. I looked, we met up after the Bible study. We saw each other over in the spa, and we got to running our mouths about YouTube. And of course, she's a big-time YouTuber. She's been doing it for 4 years, so of course I asked her all the questions about it. Let me get back. Focus, Chelsea, focus. So after Bible study, I think it ended at 9:15. The next thing was starting at 9:15, which was Spanish class. I love that class. Learned me some un poquito español.
You say your own name. So, ¿cómo se llama?
Me llamo Lanelle. Me llamo es Lanelle.
Me llama es Kevin.
¿Cómo? Wait. ¿Cuál es tu nombre?
¿Cuál es tu nombre? Mi nombre es Kevin.
Mucho gusto.
And ¿cuál es tu nombre?
I forgot. Oh, mi nombre es Lanelle.
Mucho gusto, Lynette.
Gracias. Thank you. After Spanish class, again, immediately after, the same minute that was ending, something else was starting, which was tango class. And y'all already know, well, regular viewers already know, if there is a dance class, I'm gonna be there. Unfortunately, as you'll see as we go along, this is the only, there was a lot of dance classes on this ship, but this was the only dance class I went to. Sailway party and then this dance class. That was the only dancing I did this whole cruise. So, oops, correction. I forgot. There was another class that I joined. It was a line dance class that was super fun. Had a good time with that also. So the tango dance, that was for 45 minutes straight. Y'all, I'm 53, big girl. 45 minutes, that took everything out of me. So then I was starving, I was tired, I was out of breath, but I lasted the whole 45 minutes, so pat myself on the back. Had a super good time at the tango party. So it was, I think that started at 10:30, so it was done about 11:15. And I was thinking it's early lunch, right? 11 o'clock, let's go over to lunch. They were still serving breakfast. Yeah, perfect, that's good. Oh, you got whipped cream too. Wow, yummy. Thank you. For breakfast, I had ordered room service. Just got a, what is it, English muffin with ham and eggs and cheese. But I came down to get lunch, but it's 11:30 and they don't serve lunch till 12, which I think is really odd. It's kind of late for lunch, right? But yeah, it's 11:30. They were still serving breakfast. Now they're in the middle of transitioning from breakfast between 11:30 and 12, transitioning from breakfast to lunch. So I was able to grab a waffle because I can't wait until 12 o'clock. After that tango class, I'm starving. I don't need these carbs, but it's gonna go down. After I had my waffle lunch, I decided I was just gonna hang out in the spa the rest of the day because I was tired. And the spa looked so inviting. I have a video on that. I'll link that video, is already out there. So yeah, I did a tour of the spa and I pretty much spent from lunch to dinner in the spa, I think 4 or 5 hours. So from like 12, well, it's probably about, yeah, it was almost 12 by the time I finished eating my waffle, went and changed. Yeah, so from like 12 to 4, I was in the spa. Then I went, took a shower, got dressed, went to dinner. After dinner, I went to get a manicure. Watch you really quick after that.
Hi, hello! Welcome to my vlog. My name is Susulito from the Philippines Universe.
My name is Mega. I'm from India.
Welcome on board.
This is Mega White. Please come and make your teeth whitener.
Yes, not Mega.
So she tells me you two have been on YouTube before. You are pros. They are funny. What's this room for?
I think.
Oh. The things people do.
Go. 2. Go. 3. Go. 4. Go. 5. Go. 6.
After that, they had a shopping show over in the Princess Arena, and they were raffling off some prizes and some excursions and stuff like that. So I don't really have any plans. And there was another show, but it didn't look interesting. There was a show somewhere else on the ship, but it didn't look interesting to me. So I decided to go see if I could win me something on the raffle. I didn't win anything, but it was pretty cool. It was fun. Also, they did give out another sun necklace after that. So I think I got 3 necklaces total. Again, just costume jewelry, probably something I'll play with the granddaughters when I see them again. After the shopping show, I kind of just explored the ship. I think did I try the ice cream? I tried some kind of dessert that they had over in the International. So I think it's called International Cafe. I might be wrong. Over in the International Cafe, they always have cookies and cakes and treats and stuff like that. I think I grabbed something from there and went just exploring the ship and ended up outside, forgot what deck it is, 17 or 18? 18, deck 18. And they had, it must have been Sunday because, yeah, Sunday or Monday, because football was on. So of course I hung out, we ain't gonna talk about my team, but I hung out, chatted with some people down up there on 17, some Eagles fans. Ciao. Anyway, yeah, that was it. After that, I didn't watch the whole football game, just kind of finished my dessert. And after that, went back to my cabin, and I hadn't really unpacked, so I kind of unpacked and put my magnets up on the wall and stuff like that. Really just got settled into the cabin. And that was it for the end of day 2. All right, so day 3 was kind of a chill day. I had a late breakfast over at the eatery buffet. And after that, I went and watched there was a game, officers versus guests. So I watched that. And then I actually called and chatted with a few different friends over on WhatsApp. One, stay tuned for that, one friend who is going to cruise with me very soon. They're still deciding if they want to be on camera or not, so we'll see. And another friend, hey Teresa, she is one of my Exodus Summit buddies. We chatted, and a couple other people I had to keep in contact with. But yeah, so I found my way over to Good Spirit. So there's 2 places on the ship. If you're on this ship, if you need a quiet spot, I learned that during the presentation. 2 public areas that hardly anyone is ever at is the Good Spirits bar. Sometimes there's like a liquor tasting in there or something like that. So if there's an event, then that might be different. But outside of any events, nobody knows where it is. So that's one. And then the other is called, I don't remember the name of it. I want to say Wheelbarrow, but I know that's wrong. I just put it up on the screen. But yeah, so those were the 2 quiet spots. And also when the ship is docked, because we were in Amber Cove and I need to be able to get Wi-Fi. And so I had to be near a window to get the Wi-Fi on the land when I'm on the ship anyway. So both of those are near windows. So I kind of chilled in those areas for a while. Then I ate at the Americana Diner, and this became my place to eat. The Americana Diner, what's really cool about it, first of all, they got chicken wings, okay? Y'all know that's my jam. Second of all, they got really good chicken wings. The most cool thing about it, besides the chicken wings, is when you order, so there's certain things that you can get that you would not normally get because you have to have the drink package. For instance, you can get a root beer float. You can get a root beer float. Sometimes, depends on who the server is. They let you get a root beer float or a Coke float. Hold the float. So I don't have a soda package and I hardly ever drink sodas, but I did drink a few sodas in that restaurant. Also, they have milkshakes, which are super good. A little bit on the runny side, more watery than I would say I'm used to for a milkshake, but the flavor was there, so it was still super good. All the food that I had there was good. I put pictures up on the screen, and I think what most people will say is even more cool than the chicken wings is when the servers, after they take your order, your food comes to you on a robot. high tech. I told y'all I love this ship. I could not believe that when I first saw it. Everybody was in awe, of course, because where do you go that they're serving you, that the robot is serving you, right?
How are you?
Right, how are you? Hi. It says my table number 71. 71. How stinking cool.
Your great food has arrived. Please wait for your host to serve you.
Food is here. Thank you.
Please enjoy your food, especially prepared by our award-winning chef.
And now he leaves.
You got your flat wings already. No dipping
Oh
sauce.
wow, thank
And your
you.
burger medium well with
Yummy. So yeah, I had lunch there. Let's see, dinner. I can't remember what I did between lunch and dinner. I honestly don't remember, but I did have dinner in the main dining room, and the food again was super good. But I was stuffed. So after dinner, I did go up to deck, I want to say it's deck 19, the jogging track. I usually try to get at least 7,000 steps in, and if I'm feeling good, try and get 10,000 in. I think I only had like 4,000 or 5,000 steps. I don't remember, but I ended up going up there and get my steps in. So that was pretty cool. And then I think I just called it a night after I got my steps in. Yeah, because it was pretty late then. On day 4, so this is December 17th, we had a stop in Amber Cove. The day 3 was supposed to be a stop in Princess Key, the private island, and I was bummed about that because I'd never been there. So of course I was expecting to see it for the first time. But the weather wasn't bad. The waves were really bad. So we got a letter on the very first night already saying that they were going to be diverted and going through the Bahamas Channel or something like that. So we already knew that we were going to have an extra day at sea. But then day 4 was we stopped in Amber Cove. Of course, I had been to Amber Cove quite a few times already. Dominican Republic is not somewhere that I want to retire. So I've already done a tour of the port and an excursion. The port tour is already on the channel. The excursion is not, because I am so booked up. I have so much footage because I've been busy in these cruise streets, y'all. And those videos are still sitting there. If you were on Carnival Venezia with me, I have not forgotten that ship tour. I just have not had a chance to put it together yet because it was a lot of stuff on that ship. Focus. All right. So Amber Cove, again, I had breakfast on the Lido deck. Breakfast, very good, lots of variety. Everything tastes really, really good. Probably the best. Yeah, I'm gonna say the best buffet I've ever seen. I've ever had, yeah. And once again, after I had breakfast, I had a spa day, and I stayed in the spa until 3. I probably came out and got lunch. Yeah, I came out and got lunch and then went right back to the spa. Matter of fact, I went and had lunch and then brought some cookies from lunch over into the spa. I was wondering if they were going to kick me out, but nobody said anything. So I guess it's okay as long as you don't put crumbs in coolers. I didn't bring in a pool or anything like that. But yeah, I brought me some cookies over to my thermal, where I was over in the relaxing on the thermal lounges. And then I think I did that till 2. And then at 3, I got off the ship and went into Amber Cove. Again, I had already been there before, but when I went back home for Thanksgiving, my white shirt had gotten kind of dingy. I love that shirt, but it was kind of dingy, and so I needed to replace it. So I got this little cute shirt here over in Amber Cove. I paid way too much for it. But it's a little tourist trap, right? So, yeah, I did that, walked over, just kind of walked the port a little bit, get some more steps in, came right back on the ship. And so that was day 4. That's when everything started going downhill. So what happened was, first, dinner. I've been noticing on the dinner menu each day that whatever I ordered was super, super good, but it was only maybe 1 or 2 things that I actually liked that I would actually order. And most of the time it was chicken. Other times it was stuff like raw fish, beef Wellington, other foods that I just don't eat. But when they had things like roasted chicken or salmon, and I'm used to the main dining room having at least 4 or 5 things that I can choose from. When I did choose that one thing, it was really, really good. And so I just said after that night, I wasn't gonna go to the main dining room anymore. So every night since then, I've had dinner at the Americana Diner. So that was one thing that kind of, but that's a personal thing, right? After dinner, I went to the Fiera show. All right, let's just start out by saying I ain't like that show. So I had dinner at 5. I was finished about 6:15-ish, and I knew the show started at 7:30. I didn't really have any plans for anything, and I didn't know how full the show was going to be, and I wanted to make sure I get a good seat, which all the seats are good in there, but I wanted to make sure I get a good seat so I can take some footage for the ship tour. And I was still binge watching Young Sheldon. I need to download a new episode. So after dinner, I just went over there, took my headphones, my phone, camera, and went early to the show. Or so I thought. That show was an hour, I was an hour early, and that show was already halfway full. It was that full. So that tells you the type of people who were in there are the older crowds. The younger people don't think about going to shows that early, not no hour early, no. And I was only there, again, because I wanted to get a good seat. So I was glad I did go early. I'm pretty sure they ran out of seats. Again, panning the audience, looking around, no one was younger than me. That obviously I'm just, going by looks, right? It didn't appear that anyone was younger than me. It looked like everyone in that show, it looked like I was the youngest person there, and I'm 53. Looked like everyone else who was at that show was in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, and very few 60s. The show was like, I couldn't really follow it. It had started out like it was a circus theme, and then all of a sudden there was some kind of romance in there, and then all of a sudden they had this tarot card come out, and I don't want to get into religion or anything like that, but you can sense the presence of demons. They had, what do you call them? All of a sudden all the crystal balls started coming out, and the show itself just really wasn't good. I just did not like that show at all. On top of that, before the show started,
Come on in and sit down, guys. Come on, it's okay. Come on, get a seat. No, it's only 4 black people in here. Come on. We ain't gonna steal nothing until we get ready to go. Come on.
When you heard the comedian say there's only 4 black folks in here, it was literally only 4. If you looked around, I mean, if you look closer, you might be able to see. But it was literally only 4 people in that comedian show. And I was one of them, and he was one. So it was 2 more somewhere in there. When I was at the Fiera show, I paid the audience. I always try and look for people that I can connect with. Sometimes it's Christians, sometimes it's people who look like me, sometimes it's YouTubers, sometimes it's this, it's that, whatever. I didn't see anybody who looked like me at all. So that was one thing. The show and the vibe of the show was another thing. And the third thing, you can get anywhere, and I get it anywhere. I have not had the experience of people who think because of the color of their skin, they are more supreme than I am. I have not had it to that extent on a cruise ship. During this one show, I had 3 people. I'm pretty thick-skinned. I'm used to it. Not a big deal. I've had stuff like that happen other places. But I will tell you, the vibe that I get on this ship and the 3 people that tried me in that show and found out that I'm not one to play with, it's just something that you shouldn't have to put up with when you're on a cruise ship. With that being said, outside of the show, The clientele that's on the ship, the other cruisers, I would say the majority of them are awesome people. They are awesome. I am the type of person who, even though I'm very introverted, if I'm walking through the hallways, I'll smile, I'll say hello, say good morning, just common courtesy. I know everybody's not going to always say it back. Sometimes people are in a bad mood. Sometimes people just are in a funk. Sometimes people are just who they are. I tell you, if I saw 50 people on this ship in one day, 10 of them turned their nose up at me. And again, I'm pretty thick-skinned, water off a duck's back, keep on moving. I'm not here for them anyway. But there's a certain vibe that is with the clientele that is on this ship. And again, the majority of the people are great and awesome. There's just more of those negative people on this ship than I've ever seen on any cruise ship before. So yeah, that was my experience with the Fiera show. I could not get out of that show soon enough. So that was almost the end of day 4 for me. Went back to the cabin. Had heard the noise before, but it wasn't to the extreme that it was. But there was a noise, like a scraping sound. I'll see if I can put the footage in so you can hear it, see if it's loud enough for you to be able to hear it. But this noise was so loud and annoying. I ended up getting insomnia and I couldn't sleep. So the next morning, I said something to guest services. Well, first I told my cabin steward that morning. He came in, he heard it. He said, okay, let me go talk to supervisor, blah, 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 blah. So I'm gonna try to make a long story short. So I'm cutting out a lot of details. Someone from guest services called me and said, cabin steward told us about the noise. We want to see if we can get you another cabin. We don't have one in that category. Can you go and check out? And I forget the cabin number. If I find it, I'll put it up on the screen. So I went and checked out this cabin that they were talking about. This was a small cabin. It was an interior. I love interiors, no problems with it. But I had already had an ocean view, and now I got this big desk and I'm all comfortable in it, and you want to give me something smaller? And I had a feeling that they had more cabins open on the ship. And so when I looked at it, I mean, it was a really small desk, and I knew I was going to be editing videos and things like that. So I wanted to be comfortable. It didn't have a sofa. It was super small, okay? It was a regular interior, and I had already, I was already spoiled now, so. So I went back hoping that they would give me something else, knowing that I might have to take the interior. She said, we have another cabin for you, but it also has noise. If you can go and check it out and let us know if you'd like to accept that cabin or not, we can go ahead and move you immediately. So I was on deck 5 and this cabin is on deck 6. This cabin is not directly above the cabin I was in. It's probably like 7 or 8 cabins down, which means that noise is affecting all of the cabins along 5 and 6, and I don't know if 4 and 7 can hear it or not. So then I had to debate, do I want this cabin or do I want that cabin? Because she had said that this cabin here was the only other cabin left. I took like 30 minutes to decide. I sat in the cabin, just kind of hung out for a while. It seemed at the time like the noise was louder in the first cabin that I was in, but it was still annoyingly loud in this cabin also. So I was debating, if I'm gonna have a cabin and I'm gonna be annoyed by the noise anyway, this cabin here had 2 advantages. One, I'm able to sit out on the balcony, which y'all know I'm not really a balcony person, but if I do want to come out here, which honestly, this is the only time I came out here, when I did the cabin tour, and now that I'm doing this video. Plus, the other thing that was better about this cabin is that it's on deck 6. And I've already told you I spent 3 days for hours and hours at the spa, and the spa is right around the corner from this cabin. So with that being said, I was like, if I'm gonna be annoyed at either cabin, it only took me a few minutes to pack up and move. I said I might as well just take this one. So that's how I ended up in a balcony cabin instead of the ocean view cabin. It took 3 times going to guest services. I went to guest services a 4th time because when I told them that I would accept this cabin, I kind of checked around and everything, and it was clean. Everything was great, but there was long blonde hair, a few strands on the linen. So I said, yeah, I want to go ahead and accept this other cabin, but it seems like the linen wasn't changed from the previous people who were in here, from the previous guests. Can you please have them change the linen? And also, I'm not sure if they cleaned the cabin at all, because when I was, kind of looking around, there's like a soda can in the fridge, and there's just certain things when a cabin has been cleaned, like the paperwork that they leave and stuff like that, and it just wasn't there. So I figured somebody else must have had used this cabin. So she said, oh yeah, we'll get somebody to clean it, all this and that, blah, 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 blah. And just call us when you're packed up. So I went downstairs, went packed up, called them, came back to this cabin. The hair was gone from the bed, but there was more hair over in the bathroom. So I went back and I said, I don't know if they just took the hair from the bed and moved it to the bathroom, but the bathroom is dirty and it has hair everywhere. And so she said, it took a while. I was up in guest services probably for 10, 15 minutes. She said, the cabin steward supervisor is over at the cabin waiting for you. Can you go meet him? So I came over to the cabin. Of course, he wasn't here. About 5, 10 minutes later, I was kind of beat by then. I think I had fell asleep, took a nap or something. About 5, 10 minutes later, the supervisor came by and he said, what's going on? And so I showed him the pictures that I had brought to the lady at guest services. He apologized and everything. He said he would get the cabin steward back down here, blah, 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 blah. And so the cabin steward came. Well, you know, he apologized and everything. He cleaned it up really good. He said, I apologize. Probably what happened was because this cabin has been empty from the beginning of the cruise and nobody was using it. So I didn't think that it was dirty. He said probably what happened was that they let someone else use this cabin just to sleep in it because maybe they had noise somewhere in their cabin. So they just only came here to sleep. So then the supervisor comes back and asks me, how is everything? I said, you know, everything is fine now. He cleaned it. I appreciate it. Everything's good. But I'm still hearing that noise. And when I go out on the balcony, I said, I accepted the cabin knowing that the noise was here. But when I go out on the balcony, it sounds to me like a simple problem. It sounds like a chair. Let me show you this. So I told him, I said, it sounds like a chair on somebody's balcony. It's not the ones on this balcony, but it sounds like the chair on somebody's balcony is not level and it just needs to be adjusted because every time the ship moves, the noise happens. And I'm sure it's annoying everybody. Here, he said, oh, yeah, we've been hearing the noise and everything, but we're gonna have to wait till we get back to Fort Lauderdale before we can have maintenance come to take a look at it. I said, well, if it's just a simple chair, I said, can you all not just check the chairs on everybody's balconies? He said, well, we're not sure if it's a chair or some kind of mechanical issue or whatever, but so we have to wait to get back to port. To me, I might be wrong. You all already knew that there was noise on these cabins. Nobody was in this cabin from the beginning of the cruise. So someone could have come out here already and checked. Nobody checked it. You're gonna wait till we get back to port and all these people, including me, are listening to this annoying sound that we don't have to listen to. Guess what I did? I went door to door asking everybody, can you please check your chairs on the balcony? A couple people answered. One said they're next to me, they don't have a balcony. They only have an ocean view. And then I went a couple doors this way. So they said they would check. None of them have come back to me and said, oh, it was my chair or anything like that. But about an hour afterwards, I didn't hear the sound anymore. To me, that is a lack of customer service. Also, when I was in guest services, the 4 times I was in guest services, customer service, no one smiled, no one, hi, how may I help you? And just kind of wave you over. And like I said about the dining room, they just kind of look at you and wait for you to talk. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I noticed that when I'm on other cruise ships, it seems like most, not everybody, it seems like most of the people there are from the United States. Not always. I met people from India, from Philippines, other countries over in guest services. But they're always friendly, welcoming, always. I've never had a bad experience with customer service until I came here. And I wouldn't say it's a bad experience. It just wasn't a great experience. And for the prices that Princess charges, so it's more expensive to cruise with Princess than it is to cruise with Royal and Carnival, I would expect better service, right? Again, it could be a cultural thing. I noticed when I was my camera overheated. All right, so as I was saying, the customer service at guest services was not great. It may be a cultural thing that I'm just not used to. I did notice that the name tags, you know how to say where they're from, the name tags, the 4 ladies that helped me were from Ukraine, Serbia, Cordova, and what was the other one? Kosovo. So all European countries, maybe it's like that in their culture. I would still think that Princess, who's serving an American clientele, would train them to give good customer service. And it just wasn't there. So yeah, on this day, on day 4, no, this was the evening of day 4 and pretty much all of day 5, I was about done with this ship. I was done with this cruise. I'm like, I'm done. I just want to get off of this ship now and let's go on to the next one. Let's fast forward. But yeah, so I said, no, let me just give it another chance. So I gave it one more chance. I said, well, maybe they'll make up for it with the show. They had a Cirque show, like Cirque du Soleil or whatever. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it was supposed to be. It was a Cirque show over in the Dome. So the Dome is this cool area. It doesn't seat that many people, but it's an enclosed area and it has all these lounge chairs. There's some regular chairs up high on deck 18, but the Dome covers 17 and 18, and then there's a pool right behind the stage, and the pool goes under the screen. And I'll see if I can go get some footage, but I didn't get no footage of it. Like I said, I didn't really do a ship tour. Look at this, that rain, oh my gosh. It's kind of beautiful and scary at the same time. Anywho, so yeah, so I went and grabbed some dinner from the eatery buffet, and because I knew you have to get there early, so I got there like an hour early. I think I was finishing up, I finally finished up another show I was watching. What's it called? Rings of Power. So I was fine getting there early, ate dinner, and about 15 minutes after I got there, they said the show was canceled. So 45 minutes before the show was even supposed to start. The show was canceled. I heard it through someone else, and I just kept sitting there probably for another hour just watching my show and eating dinner. But I heard it from someone else, another guest said that they hadn't made an announcement yet, but they were canceling the show because one of the performers was either sick or hurt themselves or something like that. I mean, you can't get around something like that. From when I've done backstage tours, they always had someone as a backup, so I'm not really sure what kind of show this was, but they said that they would not be having it during this cruise. So that was like the end for me. I mean, that wasn't their fault, but that was kind of a chance for them to redeem themselves, and I was like, that's just a sign. I don't need to participate in nothing else on this ship. I am done. So that was the end of day 5. Day 6 was yesterday. Today is day 7. I am just enjoying what's left of this cruise in my cabin. I've been editing videos. I've been loading videos to YouTube. I'm working on this video. I have not gone in the casino at all. I was kind of waiting to see if, because I'm already booked up to the end of next year, right? So even if they were to offer me another free cruise, and if it wasn't in 2026, I probably couldn't accept it anyway. But I wanted to see, do I even want to play even 20, 40, 50 bucks in the casino to try and get some points? And no, even if they gave me a free cruise, I probably wouldn't come. I mean, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, I didn't play in the casino. I didn't do a full ship tour. I haven't seen probably even half of this ship yet. I've never eaten at the Lido deck. I know there's some burgers and pizzas and hot dogs and stuff down there. I didn't do any specialty restaurants. What else? I didn't get in the pools. Now, some things that are great about this ship, for sure, is the food. When they are serving, when the food that I have eaten, that I have tried, was amazing. Certain things you just know you're not gonna like. Like some people, I don't care how good your oatmeal is, because I make some really good oatmeal. If they don't eat oatmeal, they're not gonna eat it. They're not gonna put their name out. If they don't eat grits, they're not gonna eat. I don't eat sushi, I'm not gonna try it. I don't eat seared tuna, I'm not gonna try it. I don't eat beef Wellington, I'm not gonna try it. I have ventured out and tried these things before. I've tried seared tuna, I've tried beef Wellington, I've tried sushi, I've tried lots of different foods, escargot, and sometimes multiple times. It's just not my thing. So I say this cruise, maybe, I don't know if the other Princess cruises are like this, but I picture in my head that this is the creme of the creme for Princess. This is their newest ship. They supposedly have their top staff, you know, their best players are on this ship. The best of everything should be on this ship, being that it's the new ship, right? So if this is the best that they have, I don't want to see the rest of their fleet. Another really great thing about this ship, which is kind of the opposite of what I just said. One of the great things about this ship is because the clientele, the guests are older, I don't think I can count 10 kids that I saw on this ship. I've only heard kids running in the hallway once. And I always hear kids running in the hallway no matter what ship, Carnival or Royal Caribbean. I always hear kids running. Some ships more than others. And of course during the summer it will be more. This is the week before Christmas, so they're probably finishing their tests. This is the week before Christmas, so they're probably finishing a whole bunch of tests and stuff before the Christmas holiday. So parents probably didn't want to pull their kids out of school. But probably next week is probably going to be kids everywhere on the ships, right? But yeah, so the three best things about this ship is the ship itself is awesome, what I've seen of it. The food is awesome, just not enough variety or regular staple foods for me, at least in the main dining room. And that there are hardly any kids. As far as why I wouldn't come back, the number one thing is the customer service. That is the main thing. The other things kind of turned me off a little bit, but I would probably look past them. That is, you know, it's not really my vibe. So most of the activities that I see, a lot of them I can participate in, probably more than half of them I can participate in and would have a good time. But there's just a lot of stuff that's just geared towards people who are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and not towards my generation. Although I was able to make some what I call cruise friends in different areas. Over in the buffet, chatted with quite a few people. Over at Bible study, in the Spanish class, when we were doing the tango dance, just different activities that I did participate in. I was able to make some friends, but just overall, the overall vibe, I really just don't click with the clientele that's on this ship, or at least on this particular cruise. So. All right, well, that is it for now. I know I was pretty long-winded. I tried to give you the pros and the cons of my feelings towards cruising on Sun Princess and my first Princess cruise. So hopefully that gives you some insight as to whether or not you want to try this cruise out or not. Maybe you've tried it and you love it, and that's fine. Maybe you've been here before and you feel the same way as me. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you haven't already, go ahead over to this video right here and check out the cabin tour for my balcony cabin that I unexpectedly received. And I can say, even though the customer service was bad, they did try to make up for everything. So I can't talk bad about them. It just wasn't to the level that I expected to be for the price point that they're at. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next cruise.
Guys, thanks to the 324 of you for the attention, and I wish you all a great afternoon and evening. Do enjoy all these events that we have prepared for you on board the marvelous Sun Princess. Ciao. Wait for it. For now.